Hey guys, we left off, if you remember, they were heading to where all the giants were sleeping, and they had actually traveled off the atlas they had set looking at the map. So let's see where this takes them to. "He's leading us to disaster!" cried the head of the Air Force. He was shaking with fear. In the seat behind him sat the head of the army, who was even more terrified. "You don't mean to tell me we've gone right off the atlas?" he cried, leaning forward to look. "That's exactly what I'm telling you," cried the Air Force man. "Look for yourself. Here's the last map in the whole flaming atlas. We went off over an hour ago." And he turned the page. As in all atlases, there were two completely blank pages at the very end. "So now we must be somewhere here," he said, as he put his finger on one of the blank pages. "Where's here?" cried the head of the army. The young pilot was still grinning broadly. He said to them, "That's why they've always put two blank pages at the back of the atlas, eh? They're for new countries. You meant to fill them in yourself." The head of the Air Force glanced down at the ground below. "Just look at this god-forsaken desert," he cried. "All the trees are dead and all the rocks are blue." "The giant has stopped," the young pilot said. "He's waving us down." The pilots throttled back the engines, and all 9 helicopters landed safely on the great yellow wasteland. Then each of them lowered a ramp from its belly. 9 jeeps, one each from the helicopters, were driven down the ramps. Each jeep contained 6 soldiers and a vast quantity of thick rope and heavy chains. "I don't see any giants," the head of the army said. "The giants are just over there," the BFG told them. "But if you talk in these slash-blunking noisy belly poppers any closer, all the giants will wake up at once, and then pop goes the weasel, eh?" "So you want us to proceed by jeep?" the head of the army said. "Yes," the BFG said, "but you all must be very bushy quiet. No roaring of motors, no shouting, no mucking about, no piggy jokery." The BFG, with Sophie still in his ear, trotted forward, and the jeeps followed close behind. Suddenly, the most dreadful rumbling noise was heard by everyone. The head of the army went pea-green in the face. "Oh, do you hear those guns?" he cried. "There's a battle raging on somewhere. Up ahead of us. Turn back, the lot of you. Let's go out there." "Oh, pig squiffo," the BFG said. "Those noises aren't guns." "Of course they're guns," the head of the army said. "I'm a military man, and I know a gun when I hear one. Turn back." "No, they're just the giants snortling in their sleep," the BFG said. "I was a giant myself, and I know a giant snortle when I hears one." "Are you quite sure?" the army man said anxiously. "Positive," the BFG said. "Proceed cautiously," the army man ordered, and they all moved. Then they saw them. Even at a distance, they were enough to scare the daylights out of the soldiers. But when they got close and saw what the giants really looked like, they began to sweat with fear. 9 fearsome, ugly, half-naked, 50-foot-long brutes lay sprawled over the ground in various grotesque attitudes of sleep, and the sound of their snortling was indeed like gunfire in a battle. The BFG raised his hand, and the jeeps all stopped, and the soldiers got out. "What happens if one of them wakes up?" he whispered. His knees were knocking together with fear. "If any one of them wakes up, they'll gobble you down before you can say knack off," the BFG answered, grinning hugely. "Me's the only one won't be gobbled up because giants never eats other giants. Me and Sophie's only safe because I'm hiding her in case it happens." And we'll stop there for today.